Welcome back to Oblivious Maximus. I'm your host, Ben Searle. Join me as always is the other host. Can't fucking talk today. Aaron Osborne.
Thanks, I'm here, Ben. One false start, second stumble.
Oh, fuck me. This podcast and shit. Only
Hard as.
We're
back.
We're back. Just us today.
Yep.
You know that we're on a hot streak.
A couple of guests in a row.
Couple of guests in a row. Why don't we just put up our feet, relax, connect with the audience?
Yeah.
What's happening with you guys? What are you guys up to?
We gotta know.
We haven't asked. But,
We're asking at a recording, so yell it into your car.
Yeah. Well, we've got a few things in the works, and we both just came back from Perth. We just thought we'd chat about that. Chat about some stuff coming up and life. What's it all about?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So, how are you, Aaron?
I'm great, mate. As I think I'm now on a streak of I think we've done 20 something of these together now.
Yeah.
And I reckon a third of them, my voice sounds bad in. And
yeah.
We're back, baby. Another one.
The last two, we're just coughing our guts up, the both of us.
Oh, yeah.
With this dreaded cough going around Melbourne.
I mean, I've been peanut gallery and knocked the whole computer over.
Duck's over here as well.
Fucking hell. Just sit still over there.
Beautiful people at Stupid Old just dialed up this studio. We've got a clock going on up here.
Yeah. No, I reckon I've honestly been sick for 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're both, aging rapidly and falling apart.
Slowly dying.
Slowly dying. You can't stop the slow march of death, really.
No. But so, yeah, we went to Perth. I thought I'd have it in me physically to have a band practice and then play a show that night and then play a show the next night. And I think that was my undoing.
That's cooked you.
Was the band practice.
Yeah, right. Me. And, you lose 4 hours. So you get over there and you're at the pub at 1 a.m. and you're like, no, it's not 1 a.m.
It's 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Melbourne time. And you're like, oh, I've been up forever.
Yeah, I got up to go over there that day. I got up at 6 a.m. So that's 3 a.m. Perth time.
Yep.
And we went to bed at, I believe, 4 a.m. Perth time.
Yes.
So I think I was awake for over 24 hours.
That's a big... You can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that.
In the second half of your 30s.
No. the twilight years. But, so, this is how you rock, though. You got to do it.
You got to do it. And so I was over there doing some comedy, which was just a coincidence, which has happened 3 times in a row now.
Yeah.
Of AGLO being interstate and me doing gigs interstate.
Yeah. It's been the best.
It's been great. And I think this last one, possibly the highlight.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Because I flew in, I went for a later flight.
Yep.
But only leaving myself 2 hours to get to the gig on the other end, and I was flying Jetstar, so really just Russian roulette with whether I would
rolling the dice,
make it in time. And but I was going to change my flights to an earlier one, and I booked them a couple of months ago. $600 Jetstar, I reckon, to change the flights. The price.
They sting you for everything on those planes.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say about those Perth flights with Jetstar, they don't have the little weigh machine out like they do on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
They must feel, I don't know, maybe it's they feel like people going to Perth would kick off more if they copped away. And I'd done myself a service when I booked the flights of upgrading to a exit row.
Oh, yeah.
So I both ways, I was there on 1D. But I'm going to switch to 1C from now on because 1D is directly in front of the toilet.
Oh, well, our way back, I'm a seasoned traveler and I book in advance and I do all the good things for myself.
Yeah.
And way back, checked in 2 days early, as you can do with Virgin. Not my preferred airline, but what do I do? I checked in 2 days early. 15, me, Braden, and Matt. 15 DEF or whatever. Get to the airport. I don't know what it was like when you got there a couple of hours later. When we got there, it was fucked. So many people there.
Everyone trying to get that early because that's
we were on the morning flight,
and those are the cheapest.
Yeah, so we were there and it was fucking packed. we just do my classic, if you're not doing this, you're an idiot. Just, if you have any gear, go to the special line, go to the premium. Doesn't matter if you don't have it. They'll let you in anyway because they know it's a fuck around and they're just happy to have you. So I go to that thing and we're getting on the flight with the entire Geelong Cats AFLW team.
Yeah, right.
Was on our plane. And because they're in a group, I guess they all have to sit together. So they got the whole front half of the plane.
Wow.
So then 15 DEF became 30 DEF. 30 is back against the wall at the Dunnies. And so we copped the whole 4-hour flight, me, Braden, and Matt just at the toilets. Yeah. And it was just like...
convenient, but...
well, yeah, it was good for us going to the toilet. But then it was like... I mean, we ended up speaking to half the Geelong Cats AFLW team because, like, they're all just back there waiting to get in the loo.
Yeah. Anyway. Good to catch up with the gals.
They had a good win, so, you know, absolutely pumped West Coast.
Well, that's great to see.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I got over there, and I think the video will be out by the time this episode comes out. I made a little video about... I got the
travel.
I got public transport to the airport, which you can do. So I walked from my house to Preston Station, up to Epping Station. Got off at Epping onto the 901. 48 stops.
Oh God!
On the bus, and then it's.
Does it go on the ring road?
It goes up and then it.
This is very Melbourne chat, by the way.
Yeah, very Melbourne chat. But and in every other place,
there is a transport to the airport.
There is a transport to the airport.
Just not here.
Not here in this insane city.
Yeah.
The dogs at Melbourne Airport, which is a business. They don't want to give up their car parking money, so we do not have a train to the airport as such. But yeah, it does go on the freeway up the top end. It goes through 3 shopping centres.
Fuck yeah.
And I missed getting food before I got on. I left myself a little bit late. I was going to get Tammy's Barek place and left myself a little bit late. So I just got straight on the train, hadn't eaten. This is 3 p.m, mind you. I was a busy day. And then 48 stops, and then it goes on. The last little bit is on the freeway to the airport. Stops under Terminal 4, where the Sky Bus also stops. Great sense of achievement to get to the airport for $7. And give the finger to the Sky Bus, and then pay $24 for a coffee and a falafel.
Fuck.
So that's how I started my journey, and I would say that I was on a Jetstar flight, so I might as well have caught public transport the entire way. And then it's the irony of getting off in Perth and then whipping to the city centre on a train.
In a train. This place is so far ahead of us.
Beautiful station at
gorgeous
at Perth,
out there
at Perth Airport. So I did the Comedy Lounge in Perth, which is a beautiful comedy club.
Purpose built, right?
Purpose built by a comedian over there, or I don't know if he does comedy anymore, but his name's Johnny. Nice guy, great guy who runs a club over there. They've got one in Perth City, and then they've recently opened one in Freo about a year ago. I haven't done that one as yet. This is my first time ever to Perth.
Yeah.
Never managed to make it over.
You and Matt Roberts both.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't we speak about that? That's interesting. Matt didn't bring that up. Anyway.
He was loving it over there. Loving it sick, Matt.
Oh, man. We had the shows on the Friday. I did my 2 shows, 6:30 and 8:30 at Comedy Lounge. And then I walked not even 10 minutes to Linnet's Lounge where you were playing.
The big gig.
Got there right before you guys were setting up.
Yeah.
And great show of the fest over there.
It was sick.
Tell us about the Friday of the show.
So, I'll do the little rundown for us of we got to Perth fine. There was no issues with us getting over there. We did.
What bus did you catch there?
The A1 airport parking bus. No, we got there fine, and then we played crosswords for 4 hours, which is if you travel or go anywhere with Matt Roberts, all he's doing is crosswords or trivia. So it's actually good because you do something the whole time rather than just staring mindlessly into your phone.
I tried to watch Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt guilty because it was so violent. I was like, I shouldn't be watching this on a plane.
Well, we just did crosswords for ages, which was very funny because Braden, who plays drums in AGLO, is a bit younger than us. And I think he was like very enamored by the fact that fucking Grandpa Roberts just wanted to do crosswords for 4 hours. But I love doing it too. So we did that. And then we went out of practice because James from Dave Demise and Gage and stuff like that, he played guitar for us. He used to be in a band called Unravel. I posted on Instagram about it earlier in the week, but James was like one of the first like big I Exist fans.
Sick.
So it was so sick to get him to play guitar for us, which was really cool. And he's just a rocking fella. But yeah, we had a practice with him and the practice ripped. Like, I mean, honestly, much like every other person that's played guitar for AGLO, he was probably better at the songs than I am, and I wrote them. But yeah, he was awesome. And so we did that. Realized we were like around the corner from the Rosemount Hotel, which is a venue I've played quite a few times, and bought a big thing of beers and just had a bit of a muck around. Then we went to our lovely accommodation in the beautiful
big
Como.
shout out to the Broadwater Resort, Como, putting us up.
Putting us up via
Beautiful people down at the Broadwater Resort.
Yeah, it was a real FIFO worker
Oh, yeah.
hotel. There was a lot of utes in the car park.
Well, it's so funny talking to like some of the Perth comics. I mean, this is a bit grim, but I'm like, yeah, I'm staying down in Como. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's near this venue. Yeah, guys keep throwing themselves off the roof over there. I'm like, yep, that's FIFO life for you, I guess.
One bad week in the mines. But yeah, no, we stayed there and it was dope because it had a pool and a hot tub. So we had a practice, hit the tub, which was nice. Had a meal at a pub up the road, which was exclaiming. It had WA's best steak sandwich. It was very good.
Haven't got around to the rest of the pubs.
Yeah, I didn't check the others out.
Just yet. That's next trip.
But then went up to Linnet's Lounge and ripped the gig. Sounded fucking dope in there. Real good. I mean, I think I said it multiple times after lots of beers, but there's a special place in my heart for Perth because when Slowburn first started, well, we were called Top Gun, like dumb as fuck. But Miles Away were the first band to put Top Gun on a show.
Sick.
Like a proper show, not just something we organised when they played in Canberra. And then basically from then, we just got on like a house on fire with those guys. And like Nick, who sings in Miles Away, has, as a result of that, has known me since I was like 17 years old, I guess. And, you know, I talk about it every time I see Nick. But I think Nick is probably one of the few people in like Australian hardcore who can still remember me with long hair.
Yeah,
like he's known me long enough that I had long hair kind of thing. And God, I wish I had it now, this fucking bald head. But
we got to get you over. We got to get this.
Got to get to Turkey.
Turkey.
We got it. Pod's going to Turkey. Something wrong with my face. No, don't worry about it. But yeah, no, so I love going over there. And I think the other thing too is I think a lot of bands from Australia don't go to Perth just because it is exorbitantly expensive to go there.
You got to really be organised. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was, for me, it was good because we were able to sort of like organise it early. I mean, being a comedian, I took literally a backpack. But it was great. I mean, even accommodation, going in together on that. We worked out like that.
Well, I mean, I think that was like the saving grace. Also, the other thing too is like it's different when you're an adult to when you're a kid. Like when we were kids, we used to stay at people's houses the whole time, and we hated flying because it was expensive. But now, whatever, it's different. But I just love going over there, and I think every band I Exist particularly. I mean, Slowburn played in Perth. I used to go to Perth on every tour. Like we would always book it. And I remember at the time, people here always thought it was really weird that we used to go there so regularly, but we were like, every show there is dope. So we always go. And then joining Extortion, which is feasibly, I mean, it is a Perth band, but we all live here. It was like the coolest thing for me. It was the first 2 shows I played in Extortion were in Perth.
Yeah, that's dope. Homecoming.
Yeah, truly. And and one of the first 2 was at 208, which is a house where the band started. Like they started the band in that house. So it was super sick for me. The second show I played with the band that is like, people love Extortion was in the house that they fucking started the band. It was really cool. But so like, yeah, I have a very special place in my heart for Perth. I love all the people over there. Try and do as much as I can with those guys whenever I can. And Mickey, who is in Jailed and a bunch of other bands. And I just hit him up a little while ago and just said like, hey, I would love to get AGLO over there because Perth is like Canberra, I feel, and like kind of like Brisbane too, in that like everyone's in different bands. Like all the bands sound different and are different styles, but they all play shows together. It's very
that
too
was
small to have one genre play a show,
Yeah, that's what I noticed about. Well, and it was like the Friday was a little bit more crusty, and the Saturday was a bit more, a couple of hardcore bands on there. The Chain played, and it was good to see like the mix of people there. And you do see it here a little bit, but there are very clear pockets in the scene over here. And man, it was really sort of almost a bit refreshing to go to Perth, and seeing that, like, just that they, you just have to do things together.
Yeah. Well, so the first show was like a nighttime show, a shorter one. So the bands, I've got the lineup here, so I don't fuck it. But it was Hysteria, Territory, Sooks, Jailed, and then AGLO. And I hadn't seen Hysteria before because they're a very new band, but they're young as fuck, and they were up there pitting, and it rocked us.
Yeah, great.
And these kids be rocking,
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And they were sick, and they fucking hung around the whole night and had a blast, and they were all there the next day too. Territory are like one of my kind of weird, I know everyone in the band, known them all for ages. I've played with all their other bands. I've seen all their other bands, and for some reason I've never seen them, and they're fucking awesome. So I was very stoked to see them. And then Sooks were like, I was like blown away by how good they were. Real like fast punk band, but just super tight. And then Jailed were sick and crazy, fucking Seki on stage and shit. The funniest thing ever. And then AGLO played, and it was super fun. But yeah, no, that show was just like, that show to me, I kind of didn't know how it would go. Like it was the first show AGLO's ever headlined as well. So we played an I Exist cover because I don't have enough songs. So got to do something that people might know. But yeah, no, it was super fun. And I think just they were all very accepting, particularly of like more, I guess, punk-ish show, having what is arguably like a slow metal band play. We were definitely kind of out, a little bit weird, but it was sick. And again, my classic thing that's been the funniest thing about starting this band has been I had like 2 people come up to me and ask me like, what's the best season of Star Trek to start watching? And I'm like, this is my fucking shit. This is why I do this. So talked to some people about Star Trek. It was mad. But yeah, show was dope. And then we hung around at that psycho pub out the front until like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, on my way over to Linnets Lounge, walked past some rave. A crazy amount of people dressed up, I guess like a pre-Halloween event or something. And then we sat out in front of, was it Jimmy's, Johnny's? Some Irish pub. The
Irish pub that's connected to
Linnets Lounge. And drank pints of Guinness and watched 1 million people get arrested.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest like police like activations I've seen.
Out.
Oh man,
in Perth.
And we were talking before at the pub. A dude copped to just drive-by arrest too. A guy who was just sitting on the curb having a ciggy.
Yeah,
wasn't even part of the brawl. The cop was like, "All right, mate, you two get in," and he was like, "What?" And they were just like, "Cuffs on, get in the fucking wagon."
These fucking pigs got quotas. Get in the van, cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and we could see Matt Roberts ready to fire up
ACAB tat burning.
Yeah, ACAB tat burning, big time. That was crazy. I haven't seen that many cops in one place at a time. And yeah, nothing connected with the show, just the Irish pub. And I guess just that area, there's a bit of a...
Yeah.
Because it is kind of crazy. I mean, that place was open longer. And I guess, a lot of places in Perth shut early.
Well, we found out the next day, the Coles behind the Milk Bar, the venue we played the next day, Coles closed at 5 p.m.
That on a Saturday?
Saturday, 5 p.m.
I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, what the fuck is happening over there?
Cole's not fucking us enough. You got to be shut at 5.
How do these people eat?
Oh my God. Saturday, we woke up. I'll have to admit, a little dusty on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But we managed to go to Cottesloe Beach.
Great day in the water. I think I exclaimed by like 4 p.m. I think I'd spent more of the day wet than dry, between like shower, beach, pool, second shower.
Yeah. And going to the beach, there's something magical about it. The restorative qualities of the salt water.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember being in the ocean and turning to Matt and go, why do we live in Melbourne again? Get me on the beach.
One of the great visuals of that was all of us getting in the water and then me turning around and looking at the shore and Braden just standing on the grass,
finishing a dart,
absolutely sucking back a durry, getting ready to get in the water. One of life's great pleasures.
Don't take up smoking, people, but there's something about a ciggy at the beach.
Fuck, it's good.
the fucking salt air hitting you in the face, the nicotine hitting your lungs. Man, that is a quintessential Australian experience.
Yeah. Just punching dart, getting in the ocean.
And, but make sure you dispose of your butts in the nearby receptacles.
But I would say
clean.
A massive shout out to Kyle, who booked the show and plays in No Future and Territory.
Took us to the beach.
Took us to a dope food spot too. Yeah. He rocks, and he put all of it together, and he does so much shit for people over there. So shout out to Kyle and those guys.
And I think, every single person I met on this trip, nice as fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone I met at the Comedy Lounge as well, just like stoked to have you there.
We kind of diverted. How was the shows for you?
Well, Friday was like kind of getting... I really enjoyed the shows on Friday. I think I was probably finding my feet a little bit.
Yeah.
Just trying to like get used to doing gigs in a new city. Audience, I guess, maybe slightly different. And both went really well, but
kind of a bigger crowd too, right?
Yeah,
big rooms.
It was like 100. I mean, I think the Friday shows were really full, but not sold out. But I think the cap there is like 160 or something like that, or 180, something around that. And then, and the Comedy Store in Sydney, I think, is like close to 300 or something like that. Okay. So I've done that before, but I think just different surroundings. Find your feet a little bit.
A lot of mining gags.
Doing my normal set, but sort of maybe trying to dial it up a little bit. Then, but I think Friday I had a lot of fun, but was, I guess, doing a new club for the first time, you want to impress, and you want to, and it was like, you want to, leave a good impression, all that sort of stuff, and sort of show what you can do. So Friday I was happy with it, but I was like, you're still like, you really want to crush, you want to rip. And then Saturday was definitely just, Saturday night crowd, really full. Yeah. The 8:30 show on the Saturday was sold out. Yeah, and sick. It was just a belter of a show. And I was just like, this club is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so super fun. But it was good to, after a day of like, went to the beach, ate some food, stopped by the servo.
We did.
And then had a spa.
Yeah, we hit the tub again.
And then like, I got to go do 3 shows now.
Well, that was like, it was very, again, like Braden being younger than us was like, we were sitting in the hot tub having beers after having been to the beach and doing this and doing that. And Braden was like, this doesn't, I mean, I think you were there too. It was like, this doesn't really feel like being on a tour. Like,
No.
This is like, we're just on holiday. And I was like, yeah, that's how you should tour as an adult. Like, not that 2 shows is a tour, but like going anywhere, I can't be sleeping at houses anymore. I can't be hanging in fucking green rooms.
That's a young person's game.
That's a young person's game. I'm going to hang at the hot tub, at the booking.com, 8 out of 10 star Broadwater Resort in Como. That's where I'm going to be hanging.
I mean, resort makes it sound like there was like people waiting on us, but
simply a motel.
simply a fancy motel.
It was a fancy motel.
Or a service department.
A service department, yeah.
Kind of set up. Yeah, it was interesting to kind of, I was like, oh, we could just do this every time we go away.
Yeah.
Just like go to the beach. And
that was the conversation that we had in the tub. That was the musings of the hot tub was like.
Get a lot of ideas done in the tub.
Some of my best work.
Couple of fellas, few beers, sort the world's problems out.
Braden drinking Jim Beam and Coke Zero. Classic drink for a young man.
Yeah.
We were, just saying like, maybe just every show we book interstate, got to be a weekend, get the full trip worth.
Take the Monday off. Which we did. And also stay somewhere pretty nice. And the other thing too is like, AGLO both days, we were the first people there. We rocked up on time. We did our sound check. We did everything good. And it was like, and Carl was like, man, you guys are really organized. And I was like, yep, well, Matt's 43. Like, Braden's a kid. We got to like figure something out here. Yeah. Well, that was like, I went and did my shows and, we went to Milk Bar, dropped you guys off, and then I took the van and went back into the city to do, I had a show at 5 o'clock, which was like an hour-long show at 5. Oof. And but got to catch up with a Perth comic who's come to Melbourne a few times, Andrew Wolf, who is probably insane, but just one of the greats. Great comics. So it was good to see him. And then by the time I'd done those 2 banger shows at 6:30 and 8:30, I managed to get back over to the Milk Bar to catch the chain. How was the earlier part of the Saturday before?
It rocked. I mean, and again, like, so last time I went to Perth with Extortion, we played Milk Bar and the same venue. We did it on a Sunday and it sold out. Like, it was crazy for us. Like, we did this headline show on a Sunday. We were like, maybe, I mean, if there's 100 people there, sick. But yeah, there was like 300 people there or something. And I walked into the Milk Bar is connected to a pub called the Civic. And I walked into the main part of the pub with Mickey from Jailed at the Extortion show. And I was like, I've been here before. And he was like, yeah, you've played here before. And I was like, no, I don't think I have. I haven't played the Milk Bar. And he was like, no, there was an old venue called the Den, which was like the other side of the pub.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, I have. And he was like, yeah, you play with Drowning Horse. It was a show that I existed with this band Drowning Horse from Perth, and a bunch of other hardcore bands played it many years ago. And it was at the advent of the creation of this synthetic weed called Chronic.
Yeah, I remember
with a K. And
it was like awful, right?
Yeah. And it was a big thing at the time because the FIFO mining guys were all trying to figure out how to smoke weed without it failing their drug tests. And so someone created this synthetic marijuana, which is just like a bunch of herbs, I guess, but they took the THC out of it and then put a bunch of chemicals in it that give you this, try to give the same effect as THC. So obviously I just thought it would be a great idea to just do that all day and drink all day.
The K in Chronic should really be a big red flag.
But so we smoked this Chronic stuff all day. And I think all of us just like had a synthetic green out at the Den at the Civic Hotel.
No wonder you didn't fucking remember going there.
Yeah, well, I truly had this. I was saying, Mickey was like, you look like you have like PTSD. And I was like, yeah, I'm seeing choppers out here. Like, But one of my main memory of it was when Drowning Horse were playing, which are like a drone band. Sam from I Exist was lying under a pool table, like basically passed out under a pool table, and being like, I think he like put his arm out and like touched my leg or something. And I like looked down at him and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, I don't want to be here. And I was like, well, you got to play guitar in like 10 minutes. But yeah, so that was the last time I went to that place prior to going there with Extortion. So when Extortion went back, I obviously it was a much better show. I didn't smoke mining fake weed and I felt fine. But this time, so when I was at when we played that show there, the guys actually told me about Obliteration Fest, which is the fest that we played. And this was the third time they've done it. And they were telling me last time that like, oh, this is where we booked the fest. We have bands up on the stage, and then there's this little like carved out alcove thing which is like the gear room. And they're like, when we booked shows here, we bring the PA from 208 and we set up a second stage, and it's just bands playing on the floor. So that's how it worked. Like one band on the stage, next band on the floor, and it just tic-tac between the two. And I mean, a bunch of sick bands. Like the lineup was Day of Demise, SOS, Nervous, Total Defeat, No Future, Gotta Roll, Hex, The Chain, AGLO. And it was fucking mad. Like one, also having a punk show like that. One, it ran on time. Two, all the gear was there. Three, nothing broke, which is like amazing for a show like that.
Yeah, when I walked in, I was like I was like, oh, this is like a full raised stage setup kind of thing.
Lighting, proper sound.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
But they even brought lighting for the floor bit.
Yes.
Like I think Kyle organized some other lights and shit, and obviously they brought a PA. But either way, all the bands are very dope. Again, pretty mixed. Lots of very different bands, lots of sick bands there. I know I rushed through them. I don't have enough time to give you a recap of every fucking band, but check them out on the internet. They're all rockers. But I think even regardless of AGLO playing, the big thing of the weekend was The Chain.
Oh, yeah.
Because Chain played with two drummers and it ripped.
Simply incredible how in sync these guys were.
Oh, yeah.
Like would, go out for a second and then they're like looking over at each other and we're getting back in time. It was fucking awesome. I kind of didn't realize for the first bit because I looked over and I was like, where's Jackson? And then I was like, oh, there he is on another drum kit, slightly to the right.
Yeah.
It was and it sounded incredible.
Yeah. And it was very funny because like a lot of people, I have to have been one of the only other people in the venue who's been in a band with two drummers before. So I was like, I have a basis. I can judge this based on my experience of doing this. And one, they were very sick. But two, they're very good drummers. Pat and Jackson, both are awesome drummers. But I played in Sex Wizard, and Sex Wizard had two drummers. And I just remember I was telling Duck earlier in the week, like playing shows at Sex Wizard was such a fuck around because of the two drummers. Like,
where is set up for that?
Nowhere. Nowhere is.
No one's got two bits of drum sound hardware. Surely.
And I remember I brought this up with Nathan from Disdain and stuff. Sex Wizard played upstairs at the Gasso once.
Yeah, right.
Like that fucking bedroom.
And are you ever playing in line, like one drummer in front of the other?
No. And that's what I'm saying. Like the way we had to do it, because, we're a hardcore band, it's so small, the drums would be in front. So like where guitar players and singer would usually stand, that's where the drummers went, and then all the rest of us had to stand behind them.
Yeah, which is great for hardcore.
Oh, yeah. Hardcore loves drummers up the front, singer right at the back. But no, they did it. There was more space on the floor, so they were obviously able to just set up like a normal band. But we were watching from the stage because AGLO was setting up while they were playing, which is actually good because we got like a good vantage point.
Exactly, yeah.
To watch them. But it was very funny because a security guard and the sound guy came up to me because there was like 20 people just standing on the stage watching the band. And this Seki came up to me and he was very polite, but he was just like, do you want me to tell these guys to fuck off? And I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, no.
Like, I will look like the lamest cunt alive if we tell everyone who's standing over here, like, can you all fuck off so we can set up and then expect those same people to then watch our band play. We're like, no, we'll just set up behind everyone and wait until everyone gets off the stage and then we'll just plug in real quick.
Yeah. No, it was a really cool thing to see. And the Chain fucking rip. Awesome band. Great to see them do that. And yeah, just a cool, exciting thing, fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, the response from the crowd was awesome for them. And then you guys played, and then it was like, you guys were a little bit, you're like, we got to follow that.
We slowed the vibe right down. I think I said, I was like, all right, so you just saw the coolest thing ever. Here's 6 songs about the TV show Star Trek.
No, but you guys.
I think we did good.
You did great. Sounded, and I would say that I actually really liked the sound on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Sound guy was really good, and big PA that sounded great.
Yeah.
And by the end, everyone was doing a slow head nod.
Oh yeah.
Fucking.
That's
ripping.
all I need. And I think the funniest thing with AGLO has been that, like,
2 shows in a row where kids moshed.
Yeah. It's becoming a thing. People be pitting to AGLO, which is
slow mosh.
I'm happy with it. Slow that.
Maybe it'll be like
90 BPM pit.
Well, there's this style of electronic music in I think the Philippines or Thailand called budots.
Okay.
And the dancing to it is like, it's almost like Gabba style dancing, but real slow. It's fucking awesome. It's a big trend on TikTok, and you would know it from the song where it's like, emergency, that song. That is Budot's music.
Okay.
And so maybe the slow mosh is gonna. Well, none of these kids are slow moshing. It's very, very hard to do a slow spin kick. I believe it's similar to the martial art Aikido, which Steven Seagal is.
All I can hope by you saying this is that AGLO is going to go off on TikTok, because that would be fantastic for me.
Yeah.
Professionally and personally.
Clip it up.
But no, I think all in all, dope weekend. You obviously had a great time at your shows. I had a great time at my shows.
Big fan of Perth. Great city, beautiful people.
Yeah. And I definitely was like, you have the best DIY scene in Australia. But I mean, I think I throw that around a lot at the minute, with Canberra having all the house shows, with Brisbane having the network of bands, with, everyone's got their own thing, but it is truly special over there, I think. And
I think just how far away it is from other stuff, and you don't have the luxury of bringing people in as much, just due to the financial barrier.
Yeah.
And I guess similar to the Comedy Lounge, like going over there, and people I think appreciate you coming across, and you feel that, I guess.
Yeah.
And ducking over to your shows as well, and seeing that. Unfortunately, didn't get to see a ton of the bands on the fest, but was able to pick up a bit of the vibe at the end of each night, and it was great. Great to see, and cool. I'm keen to get over there just to hang at some shows as well. Yeah,
and I can't wait to go back. Basically. All right, we've been talking shit for fucking ages.
That's all right.
We got a single speak part or two.
Well, a 2-parter from Calden on the YouTube. So, on the YouTube comments said, get an update from Otis while he's in the US. Now, these might be a little bit outdated.
They definitely are.
Because I think he left them like a week ago, and then this episode comes out in two
I reckon by
weeks.
the time this episode comes out, Otis will be back
in the country
from America.
But we still want him.
We got to get him on the show.
We got to get him on the show. And should we tease the other thing we talked about yesterday?
Yeah, sure.
We are going to do a live show.
We are.
Before the end of the year. We're still figuring out some dates.
Venue pending, date pending.
Venue and date pending. But
we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. So we've loved the response to the pod so far with this relaunch of it with Aaron and I. And we want to do a big end of year muck around.
Yeah. Big end of year party.
Yeah, and so more details on that to come, and obviously Otis will try and get him involved. Well, Otis, you're involved.
You're involved, mate. If we say it on the pod, he has to do it.
He has to do it. But we got a couple of updates from him. I haven't listened to these.
Me either.
So if he says anything bad, that does not reflect the views of Oblivious Maximus, and he's kicked off. No. But here we go.
Hey guys, it's Otis here. Just giving you all a little update about my trip. So I'm in LA, I'm in Blue Bottle. I've just spent
coffee shop.
$10 Australian on a little cold brew coffee.
Oof.
And then I'm about to go spend $30 on a juice.
Oh.
That looks like it's going to be the size of my ass. Apparently Hailey Bieber makes everyone to order.
Oh.
I've seen a lot of cyborg trucks kicking around here.
Oh,
Yep.
They're looking crazy. Looks like Master Chief's about to pop out or something like that.
Halo shit.
Pretty much, tour hasn't started, but it's looking like we might need to sell a couple shirts. The boys are getting a bit
strapped.
Money's not looking good. So hopefully that all works out.
Real bummer update.
Pretty much had 2 dinners every night, and somehow my pants are just shrinking day by day. So, not sure what to do about that. But apart from all that, seems to be cool, having a good time, and yeah.
Otis
still
really
waiting on
played this out.
We've got a part 2 here, but I mean,
Speak pipe cut him off.
In amazing update so far, and the part 2.
Sorry, fellas, that just cut out before, but pretty much what I was going to say is if I could borrow some money or get a bit of an advance from the last couple eps, Liquid Death sponsor, that would be great. Thank you, bye.
I mean, that ties in great with our live show.
Yeah.
It turns out it's I mean, we were thinking about raising money for Palestine, but maybe it's for Otis to get back from the States.
Hopefully by the time this airs and we assume he's back in Australia, he's made it home okay. I did see a video today from AWOL playing with Tsunami, and it looked fucking mental. So
yeah,
that's very exciting for them.
Yeah, if you don't follow Otis on Instagram, the food that and Pablo and the boys have been eating looks fucking incredible. They're very bougie tour. I mean, we were just talking about a bougie tour, but we were more relaxed than.
These boys like to eat, though.
These boys like to eat, and I mean, in LA, you got to have the Mexican. You got to have it all. But yeah, tour looks pretty crazy so far. So hopefully they have moved some shirts, but
we can only hope.
We can only hope. But best of luck for the rest of the tour.
If not, when the boys get home, just hit that AWOL Bandcamp and
hit that link tree for
help the lads out.
And if we can get hashtag save Otis, go on.
But yeah, as Ben just loosely mentioned, I mean, we just talked about this yesterday, but we're going to do it. If we put it out there, we have to do it. So
yes, exactly.
We'll do a live show before the end of the year. It'll be fun. We got a bunch of call-in type activities we're going to do for it.
Yeah.
And then we'll launch them live. Once we actually book it, we'll start talking about what we're doing. But we should hopefully, I mean, maybe by the time this is on the internet, we will have figured that out. But who knows? We'll
I think next episode we'll
be able to talk
we'll
about
have locked something in.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right. Aaron, anything before we wrap up?
No, nothing. The speed show's sold out. That's the next thing I'm doing.
Oh.
I think. Actually, and AGLO's playing with Burn in Hell and Tumor at the Bendigo on the 29th of November.
Oh, so yeah. I just went to the newly opened Bendigo for the Halloween gig with our former guest, Alan Stacey, doing his full Danzig for Halloween. And fuck does his Danzig rock ass.
This cunt can sing.
Yeah. The new Bendigo setup, Bendigo Hotel is back open. The Mill Brewery bought it. It's pretty cool.
Beer's better.
They've still got Skull Lager, but I think it's made by the Mill.
Yeah, it's not 4X Gold, which is what the last
4X
one was.
gold. And $10 a pint, which is
Love that.
fucking pretty rare these days to get a pint for under $15.
Oh my god! Don't make me talk about the Prince Band Room again.
Oh no. Sorry, Jack. Yeah, no, it's yeah, that'll be cool. It's a cool vibe down there now.
Yeah. What about you? Going interstate?
Yes, I think by the time this comes out, I will be in Sydney.
Yep.
I'm doing a run at the Comedy Store and a couple of their other gigs, like Enmore Comedy on a Tuesday. I can't remember what the Wednesday gig is called, but then like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or 2 shows Saturday, I'm at the Comedy Store on, I think that's the 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th, 16th at the Comedy Store of November.
Nice.
I'll be there. So if you're in Sydney and you want to come through, I'll be on the lineups there. And then the week after that, I'll be in Brisbane at Good Chat Comedy and hopefully a couple of other places if some fucking cunts get back to my emails. No, the beautiful people of Brisbane. And then on Monday, like the 25th, I think, I'll be in Cairns at the Laughing Heart, which is an awesome club up there. The Cairns Monday gig is always a fucking belter.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'll be jet setting a little bit and then I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, hopefully next episode we'll have some details about the live show. But that's it for now.
Yep. Thanks for chatting to me, Ben.
Thanks, Aaron.
Bye.